Racing on Fox is presented by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tire. And brought to you by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's, improving home improvement. By Pepto-Bismol, first aid for stomachs, use as directed. And by Valvoline's Max Life. Take better care of your higher mileage vehicle with Valvoline's Max Life. If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. Elliott Sadler's going to make a run for the lead against Jeff Gordon, and watch how this turns out.
Yeah, I mean, when that happened right there, Kurt Busch was 4 or 5 car lengths behind him at the start-finish line.
Elliott was just being he was just being too cautious, and he didn't, you know, it's late in the race, he doesn't want to mess up. I understand that, but this cat here was back far enough. He got that momentum off of turn 2, and around both of them he went, baby.
And Sadler knew you can't go into that corner 3 wide. Somebody's got to lift. Wow.
There's so much momentum. I mean, the 97 was wide open off that corner where the other 2 were pedaling, trying to keep off each other.
So Kurt Busch is the new leader, and he has driven away. It took Sadler a while to get past Jeff Gordon. Took him 2 laps to finally seal that deal. So Kurt Busch now has a 1.4-second lead.
But boy, Jeff Gordon, when he went. He has dropped all the way back to 8th position, Darrell. I think he just used that right front tire. We heard him say he's been pushing off the corner, and I think the right front tire is gone on that race car.
And guess what? I bet Kurt Busch's power steering is working just fine now.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, I think the power steering is going to be okay.
Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett. The UPS Ford closing up now on
Now
wow.
Here comes Ricky Craven in that Pontiac in the Tide car. I mean, here he is. He's all over the back of Elliott Sadler.
Of course, Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett, they're racing for position even though they're 2 laps down.
And there, Dave Blaney. I mean, we got some guys up here that, you know, would you predicted some of these cats to be up front at the end of the day?
You heard Scott Miller, Ricky Craven, Elliott Sadler. He just about got that Darlington stripe right there in 1 and 2, but you heard him say his car, Ricky Craven, the Tide car, good on long runs. There's the car good on long runs, though. Dave Blaney in that 77 car.
But you know what? I believe that the 38, the 24, I think those guys used their stuff up racing each other.
Yes.
And now these guys have kind of laid back, and here we come.
And I think where it really showed up was in the beginning on that restart. Looked like Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney took it easy when those tires were fresh and the air pressure were down.
And there goes the 32 by the 38 right there. And Blaney is all over the back of him. And here comes Dale Jr.
And here come 3 of those cars.
And here comes Mark. Mark's going to get a big run.
3 of those cars that were not running hard right at the restart, racing everybody. Craven, Blaney, Jr.
And Kurt Busch, Jimmy Finney, his crew chief, they're loving this because they have put almost 3/4 of a straightaway on those guys back there beating and bang like this with about 15 laps to go.
It's simple, Larry. You got to start last. Last year, Sterling Marlin had trouble, started this race last. Kurt Busch lost an engine in practice, started 42nd, and now he leads by 3 seconds.
Boy, I don't know. I think Jeff Gordon is just, I don't know what's wrong that happened to his car, but he's dog meat now. There's a cat that's led this race forever, sit out there, didn't look like anybody could touch him, and he is going backwards at a high rate of speed.
Matt can update us.
DW, the crew is speculating he's knocked the toe out. Remember, earlier in the race, Gordon made hard contact with the 88 coming down the front stretch. That was the 2nd hit. The team is speculating Gordon's knocked the toe out. All he said was, I messed up, I got in the wall.
And when you knock that toe out, that definitely can make one of these things push and drive where the front end don't turn.
And just being towed out, Larry, will that kill your tire wear?
Yes, sir, it will. I mean, these things are designed. We keep talking about this toe out. It's about 1/8 of an inch. That means the front of the front tires are 1/8 inch wider than the rear. That gives you stability getting in the corner.
Plus, we saw that fender damage, Larry. I think that's the big issue. He lost the downforce on the nose. It burnt that right front tire up.
13 laps to go.
I mean, Jeff Gordon, he's almost getting close to a half a lap down, and that's all happening in about 9 laps.
Mark Martin keeps coming. He's past Dale Earnhardt Jr. now for 4th place.
I tell you, Mark Martin keeps coming, but the cats that are coming are that 32 and that 77. They're not too far behind Kurt Busch in closing.
Kurt Busch, he has fairly clean racetrack in front of him. We'll see Larry Ford up there in the 14 car by himself several laps down, so that's fairly clean racetrack.
Fastest car on the speedway is Ricky Craven, followed closely by Dave Blaney.
Craven is coming. I'm telling you, I don't think he's going to have time, but if something happened to Busch, you get up here and get in traffic and get woed up a little bit, we got another race on our. We got a race to the finish.
Craven is 1/4 of a second faster than Kurt Busch. with 12 laps to go, Darrell. That's enough time. If he keeps that up, it's just barely enough time to catch him.
Put that old washing machine on high speed and let her go.
That time he was 0.2 of a second quicker, so he's definitely catching him.
And how about Dave Blaney hunting his first top 5 Winston Cup finish?
If I was Dave Blaney, Booty, and those guys, I'd feel like I won this race because this is a great run for that team. That cat's going to win a race, Larry. That 77 car with Booty over there, they're going to win a race before too long.
He's been flirting with it, but you know, he seems like he runs good at places where you slide around. What did he do most of his career?
Slid around most of his career. And guess where we're going next week? You got to have a little of that high bank, slide around attitude. Oh, Gordon's in the wall. Gordon's in the wall, and Kenny Wallace got into the back of him.
No caution.
Well, we're going to stay green. 10 laps to go. The right front gone on Gordon's car. 10 to go. And Darrell, looking at this lead pack, how about Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney in second and third? First, let's see Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, he gets into turn 3 here. Car goes up the hill, up the hill. Looks like she just doesn't want to turn, and bam, right in the wall it goes, and that's just no grip. Lack of grip.
And almost collected Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace bammed into the back of him, but he kept on going.